So the desmadre of my life, actually, not of the week, just of my life right now. So many updates since the last episode. Um, Honestly, I'm here broken and just being completely raw. I didn't update any episodes last week because honestly, I was barely holding on my whole self. I'm doubting myself so much lately, and I caught myself doing something I said I wouldn't do, which is waiting for the perfect moment to record an episode. So here I am, in the whole mess of my life, broken, devastated, and lost. But I believe God has me here for a reason. And so after I uploaded that last episode, I was hurt and broken, but I was 100% sure that me and my husband were going to be okay since he had me very well convinced and very manipulated through all our relationship, making me believe that he was serious about us, and then he had PTSD, and but he would have never like I don't know. I didn't think he would do to me what he actually ended up doing, which is um having a double life and with a coworker he met at work. They both started at the same time last week of January, and they were already dating by February. And then by March, that's when he left me. And so in the older episode, I talk about how I lost my job, and then my husband was acting up and saying his mental health, and then but like I said, he would never look for help. He never looked for a therapist. He never was consistent about that. He was inconsistent about the gym. He just kind of let himself go. And I was right there with him because I love him. And me being in my postpartum depression, obviously having the baby, being pregnant, like paying for the majority of the bills, doing all this stuff that honestly, it was a lot. It was a lot. And there is no other word for him that he's just a selfish person, and he's very evil because he really had me convinced about this whole lies and this whole life with him. And then I came to find out this is a pattern that he does. He acts like the sweetest person, and he's deceiving. Like seriously, he was that devil, that demon that was dressed as an angel for me, because he was very sweet. Like he would shower me with love and care and gifts. But now I know that every time he did that is because he was talking to someone else, or he was texting someone, or he was cheating with someone. Like it's insane. I'm leaving this. It's shocking for me, and it's been really, really rough because before him, I was very independent, and he made me very dependent of him. Like hardcore. I never been in this situation before to the point that I needed someone to make a decision, or I don't know, to just even be. And I he would do things like he wanted me to be with him like all the time. And to me it was kind of weird, but I figured maybe we're married and this was my first serious relationship like that, and we had a baby, so I'm like, maybe this is how it is. And so I'm struggling right now with getting back to myself, my independency, because when I found out that he was cheating, that devastated me. And honestly, it was so shocking because nobody saw this coming. Like, nobody. Everybody was heartbroken for me and heartbroken because they love him. And he ended up turning to be this, like, evil cheater, liar, everything. And honestly, the good thing about this though is that I pray to God. Like I was very close to God when I started this podcast, when I started like my sacred medication that I talk about, when I find out that I had postpartum depression, and finally I started seeking like help for that because I didn't even know I had that. So when I find out I had it, Then I did everything I could within that week. I found a therapist. I took the sacred medicine. I started like doing all this like reading and research, and I did everything I could within my hands to get better, and I did. And this podcast was a big one for me to get better too. So that being said, um, I feel like I was doing that because I love for me, and I love him, and I love my family, and it kind of like I guess it kind of hurts that I did everything I could for this man, and he pretty much he was like jump, and then I jumped, and then he's like just kidding, and then he moved, and I just like face landed like on the concrete. Like it's terrible. It was such a terrible feeling. I found myself literally shaking, panicking, like I couldn't think for myself. I literally like my friends were passing me around like a freaking, what are those called, that when you do a relay and you pass it on to the next person. That's how I felt. Like they were passing me through my friends because I literally could not be by myself. I could not even make a decision. It was really bad. But when I started that journey, sorry, sidetrack again, but when I started that journey, the reason why I said this, about getting better and knowing what I had, the postpartum depression, and taking action to get better, I started getting closer to God too, and I started getting closer to my higher self, and just feeling more complete, I guess. So when that happened, I did ask God, like, I'm tired of feeling drained. I'm tired of feeling this type of way of like upset and negative and just so drained. Like, I don't want to be like this. Like, why does my life feel so drained? Like, help me to not feel like this. And then I started feeling better and better. And then, um, so I, I don't know. I feel like I was having like we were having just I noticed it was hard on me for him not taking care of himself and me taking care of him and of our whole family and myself. That I feel like I was getting super stressed out, like the couple weeks that I was working at that one job that I got before he cheated on me. Well, before no, he was already cheating before I he told me he needed a break. So this is the episode, the previous episode. I talk about that if you want to go listen to it. But so I, when that happened, I said, God, like, what is going on? Like, what are you trying to teach me? What am I going with this? And so now I feel like, first, let me tell you this. On, I think I was already praying, when I wasn't feeling good, but I got closer this year. But I do remember, like, when I was working um at the job that it was last year, and I had issues with management. Um, that one was that one was rough, and I also was praying to God. I feel like that my I don't know how many awakenings I already had, but whatever number it is, like say number 10, my 10 awakening was, I think it started then when when I started that company, when I started with that company, electrical company. I started in June, and I noticed like I was feeling tense, and I talk about this in another episode, that I was not making the decision of leaving. I was staying because the money, and even though management was like really rude to me and I didn't feel appreciated, but they were abusing me, like making me do all these jobs and taking advantage of me. That's the right word. So anyways, I feel like that job, God put me there because He wanted to strip me from the all the love and all this toxic relationship I had with money. Like to me, money became everything. Like I wanted money, and I everything was about money. It brought anxiety. Like money, it was crazy. Like money was literally dictating my life. And I think that job, I don't think I know that job. God put me there, and I went through everything I went through to get rid of that relationship, toxic relationship I had with money. Because I don't care about money anymore. And it's crazy. I could have never said this before, like last year. I would have, yeah, no, I was very dependent of money and very, very, very close to money, but in a very toxic way. And we're not here for that. I realize that I'm not here for that. So then the second job, that I got, the one that I talk about this past episode, that one lasted only 2 weeks. And the reason why it only lasted 2 weeks is because they hired me for a job, a big job they were waiting, and it fell through. It didn't happen. And so as soon as that happened, as soon as the owner find out that that job was canceled, then that's when he let me know that, hey, the job that we were waiting for fell through. It was a Thursday, and well, Friday is when he told me. Um, and so he sent me home. And so that Friday, um, that's exactly that same day that my husband, um, soon to not be my husband, he told me that he needed to go to his mom and he needed a break and all this and that. And then he didn't face me. So, like a coward, a total coward. And um, I feel like that job stripped me from my husband. And the reason why now I see it is because, geez, like, I I feel like God already told me not to go back to work. And I went back in June of 2025, and it was a toxic environment. And then but it's like, okay, you're here, so I'm gonna show you something. So then he showed me money is not everything. Then I got this 2 week job. Then he stripped me, and again, I don't think that I'm supposed to be there. Then I went, and then so God was like, okay, here you are. So here, let me show you. Or maybe he did want me there, but he only to learn what I'm supposed to be learning, which I got there. And then this guy that I'm married to, he just completely went full on. He was been already cheating since February, but then he decided to just go full on when I started working. Which now I figured out that he did a favor to me, because God wanted that. God wanted him out of my life, because literally now that he's out of my life, even though it was a heartbreak and even though it's betrayal and even though all this is happening, honestly, I was hiking today and I was like, I panicked just to think about that, like if he will come back. It's like there is no way. Like, I already said I'm not gonna take him back, but sometimes I put myself in scenarios like that. Like, okay, so how do you feel about him? And now I'm like, if he would have asked me this right when he cheated, and I find out, well, he's been cheating. When I find out he was cheating, I would have taken him back right away. But I think God made it so this coward, he cheated on me. He left with this homewrecker, and then he is now treating me terrible. And I'm like, I think it had to be that way, because if he would have um leave her, or if he would have been nice to me, I would have probably took him back. But he had to be so mean and he had to break me so hard that I'm like, no more. And so that being said, it's like, I think God wanted me to be by myself, because honestly, he was draining me. He was draining me financially, emotionally, mentally, physically. Like, I was just completely drained. And now that he's gone, like, yes, like I said, I'm heartbroken. I'm not gonna lie, 'cause I love him, but I realize how much my life has changed and how much better it feels. The energy in my house, like, I'm feeling so much more energetic, like not stressed out at all. Like, I really do feel like his demon energy left the house. Like, he was. Now I understand. Now I understand why my body was resisting so much at this man for so long. And it's crazy. I was telling my son, I'm like, when I had never had this with any other man I've been with, but him, I will have so many nightmares, like at least once a month, and it will be about him cheating. And I will wake up freaking out, and I'll tell him my dream, and he's like, no, I would never do that. Like, I would never. We're supposed to be forever together. Like, we're gonna be 1,000 years, 100 years together. I would never do that to you. And then he was doing it. So, anyways, I think like my higher self really is watching over me. I feel like God is really watching over me, and I always felt a lot of resistance to give myself to Him. And so now that I'm just realizing, because I didn't see this before. I didn't see any of this stuff before. Now that he's gone is when I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. Like he will be so loving and give me gifts, but then I find out it's because he was with this human. Um, and they were cheating, and she knew he was married. She knew he had a baby. They both are pieces of shits that they just deserve each other. And honestly, at this point, I don't wish them any bad. I'm like, whatever. I perfect for each other, honestly. Like, and it did hurt me, and what hurts me the most is the betrayal, right? Because I'm like, you could have just leave. Or honestly, I'm very open to polyamory too, so it's like, and I told him this, so it's like, you could have just done that. Like, why did you have to do it the sneaky way? But I guess he's just too immature. He's not ready for my energy. He's not ready for my what I have to give, I guess. Or maybe he was ready for me to give, but he was not ready to give back. So yeah, I think God wanted him gone. And honestly, even though it's been a really rough um I guess journey, and I posted on my Instagram my stories and a video about what's happening and the whole like how I found out and all these things, and that was very helpful to me because I was brave, I want to say, to expose these two people. And it's crazy because once I did that, then I got a bunch of, I guess a lot of people know her, and she does stuff for fun. She's a homewrecker. She is well known to like to go with married men and people who have I guess partners. So I'm like, well, I guess they both deserve each other. So now for a long time I was honestly like, why did he do this? Why did he do that? Why did, but at this now I'm like, so like he did it because he wanted to. And he's just evil, and I'm not at his level, so I can never understand why he did that, because he's in a negative, evil vibe, I guess. And I'm not there. For a while I was crying and trying to understand that, but now I'm like, it's just because somebody told me that was very kind. They said, the reason why you don't understand is stop questioning it, because the reason you won't get it is because he's evil. He was really truly evil. He did not care about your feelings. He did not care about your baby's feelings. He did not care that he betrayed you. He just treats you like crap now, like left with this person. Like he didn't care about anything. He just left. Like the house, he knew I needed the money and he just took off. And he's like, and the reason why you can never understand it is because you and I'm like, and I was like, I think we connected, we're thinking the same thing, is I would never do that. I could never do that. Even when I was in my worst depression, for the postpartum depression, that was not an option. Same with killing myself. I was like, no, that's not an option. And he tried to kill himself before, I guess. I don't know. He told me that, but now I don't know what to believe because he seems to be a liar about everything. And so this really, really, really fucked me up. Um, I never been this fucked up before. I feel like the one time that I can think of is when my dad passed away, and I was grieving, but he died, so I was grieving, and I learned to let go. It's just with time, I don't see him, and it was very depressing, but I knew he was not here anymore. And that was that. With this piece of crap, man, if you I don't think he's a man. I'm grieving him like if like the loss of him, like our love or home. It's like I'm grieving him, but he's not dead. He was cheating and then he left with that person, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's the absolutely worst. I think that's what hurts the most. If he would have just left, I would, I guess I would care, but I'll be like, okay, well, it is what it is, it's over. But the fact that he cheated and had a double life, that's what pisses me off. It's like, bro, like, jeez. And then also the part that my baby's suffering too, and it's thanks to his selfishness. And then he is still trying to say it's my fault. Yeah, nobody. You went and you cheated and you left our home, and then that's that. Just be a man, and men, own it and move on. That's what I wish he would do, but he's not doing that. And I guess that's where I'm at. I'm just like, this is like crazy. And but honestly, the reason why I'm sharing all this is because I know something great is coming. I mean, I already feel it. Now that he's not here, I feel so much more energetic. I feel so much at peace. I feel like ideas are coming, like hope is actually coming, because he had so much going on in his life, finances and everything, that it was messing us up. Like I couldn't even take a trip because then he couldn't. So then I feel bad leaving him behind or something. It was really bad. It was getting really bad, and now that he's gone, then I can, go back to my life and be independent and, get my life together again. And I just, and the reason why maybe sound rude, or I don't know, I feel like maybe I'm sounding rude but negative, but I mean, it does hurt, and I think I'm in that phase of I am angry and I'm just trying to power through that. And it's because I was sad and scared for a long time, and I still am. Like, I feel like it's a roller coaster of emotions. But right now I'm feeling angry, and I'm trying to not, like my therapist said, don't hate him, just say you hate the things that he's doing. So that's what I'm doing. I'm hating the things that he's doing, but at the same time, I know in my heart that my higher self and God is with me, and they are telling me this is what I need. And then when I'm going is far, 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 like away from him. And the reason why is because I couldn't grow with him. He was like an anchor, and he was keeping me down. And even though it hurt to say that, but it's true. And I kind of like give up on goals and dreams that I had because of that, because I knew I couldn't do it with him. And I think now that he's gone, I don't know exactly where God is taking me. I know I've been hearing and, my inner self, and it's definitely taking care of myself right now, connecting again with who I am truly, remembering who I am, and just taking care of myself. And once I'm whole, He's gonna show me, God is gonna show me the purpose of all this. Like, what is it that I needed to fix this in order for me to keep moving. And I think, um, I guess I don't even know how to explain it. It's like a vivid dream or something. I don't know, like something in my head. It just told me that it's like right now you need to worry about yourself. You need to make sure you're whole. You need to make sure you're connected, and then that's when the um other things are gonna come. I have a feeling it's gonna be something big. I don't know if it's like work or if it's some kind of like money or travel. So I don't know what it is, but I mean that's what my mind can comprehend as big. But I don't know. It might be something else. I don't know what it is. I just know something's coming, and I think that's why he stripped me from money, from my cheater husband, and from my work right now, and also from standing up for myself. I think all that, it was part of getting to whatever God is taking me. But at the same time, I'm realizing that my journey also matters. I realized that a lot today with my hike. I was thinking about that. It's like I usually take pictures once I'm already on the top. When I'm already like at the end of the hike, what I supposed to be like at the waterfall, at the lake, at the peak of the mountain. But I'm like, you know what? The journey is what I love. It's the the walking, the going through, seeing all these beautiful things, and sometimes it gets hard. Sometimes you have to climb. Sometimes you have to like jump. Sometimes you have to like go around. There is obstacles, and then that's what life is. And I thought about it. I'm like, well, I wouldn't want to just get out of the car and then be there, because I went to a blue pool today. So I wouldn't want to jump off the car and then just walk and then be there like 2 minutes and then there is the blue pool. I think part of what makes it so exciting is that it's the fact that you have to go through all this to appreciate it even better. Um, and something that happened to us like on the way back, on the way back, most people was like, oh, now I have to head back. But then it's like, to me, it's like taking what you learn from the way there and everything that you enjoy, everything that you did, everything that you take notice, like the bridge or this tree or the rocks or all this stuff. And I'm like, maybe on the way back, I mean, when you're there, well, it's awesome, right? That's the goal. That's what you were looking for and hoping to see and get, and then you did. So now on the way back, I mean, thinking about this, sorry. I'm like, on the way back, I'm like, well, now instead of thinking about it as a drag the way back, I already seen this, is like, well, I want to maybe notice other things I didn't notice on my way there. And at the same time, also now, since I know how to navigate a little better, then I can be more, I can move faster, or I can, like now, instead of focusing where I'm going, like I can actually take in the sounds, meditate. I don't know. I feel like that realized for me, that was a realization for me that it's not just about the goal and be there. Like we are here to experience, and I mentioned this before in other episodes, pain and suffering, it's part of the human experience. And it doesn't feel very nice. And definitely I hated it when it first happened, but then it had to happen because that was part of what I signed up for as collective, I guess, as because I do believe we are part of something else, and when we are in our pure form, like say just energy, we don't feel, we don't see, we don't experience what this, the reason why we experience this is because the human body, because our brain, because our mind, because our body. So it's like, if we don't get to experience this, then what are we here for to begin with? This is part of the human experience. And I think it was yesterday too. I was meditating at night, and it was like my higher self was talking to me, and it's like, so from point A to point B, right? It's like I feel in the heart of my heart that I am gonna be okay. Now I know for sure everything is gonna be okay. God says I am gonna be okay. But it depends on me between point A and to that point of B of being okay. So this is where I'm at. I'm at point A. I need to get a point B. And all I need to know is that God says I'm gonna be okay. So whatever happens in between, it depends on me because it's, am I trusting God? Am I having faith? Am I worrying all the time? Am I being anxious? Like, what is my emotions and what is my attitude from here to there? Because no matter what, I'm going to be okay. And at the end of the day, it's like the worst that could happen is I'll die, but it's like I'll die because everybody dies. And I'm not saying I'm going to die. I'm just saying that's literally what I think about. Well, what's the worst that could happen, like from here to there? And it's like, so that's why it's so important for me to be present, so important for me today to recover and not be stuck on this pain and not be stuck on this mindset of like, because I did for a little bit. I was like, fuck, I hate him, and then oh my god, I miss him and I can be without him, all this stuff, right? But that was, if I I mean, it's cool, right? You need to grieve. There's phases of it, of grieving, stages. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know how many, but to me, that was the phase I was in. But it's hard. It's important to move from from the stage to the next. Because if you get stuck in one stage and you don't move, how are you gonna get to point B? So that's where I'm at. No matter what, I know I'm gonna be okay. But therefore, whatever I'm doing between here and there, I need to stop taking action on desperation. Because sometimes I could be like, oh, maybe I'm desperate. Maybe I'm feeling, because I was feeling like a crazy addict to him, and I needed him, and I wanted him, and I wanted a text from him, and I wanted to hear from him. And it's like, that's not healthy. And that's out of desperation. Me wanting him back is out of desperation because I'm feeling in the unknown. I'm feeling in the uncomfortable. That's why I want him back. Not because I love him. Not because I'm, you know, not because it's the best thing for me. It's just because it's familiar, and it's action and desperation, just so I'm not alone with these feelings. I don't want to deal with the feelings. So once I accept that, then I can move to the next step. You need to sit in the uncomfortable. You need to sit with these feelings, and you need to talk about it, and you need to accept before you can move to the next. And then I feel really proud of myself because I feel like I'm moving fast, even though it feels like I'm not, but I am. And the reasoning why is because clearly I learned that, okay, if I grieve in silence, it's not going to do any good. So I need to grieve, and I need to talk to people. That's why we're here. We're a collective. We're supposed to help each other. We're supposed to find our people and then talk to them. They're supposed to be here for us, and we're supposed to be there for them. So that's why I started talking. I started explaining how I was feeling, and that was the best thing, because if I would have sit alone and with my feelings and not tell anybody about everything that is happening, it would have taken me longer to heal because I'm doing it by myself. And literally, that's not what we're here. Humans are not meant to be isolated. We are not here to do that. And so that helped me a lot to know that I had a lot of really good people like being here for me. I was literally sleeping with my friend at her house, and I felt like a baby. Like everybody was taking care of me, and it was nice to have that and to know that honestly, sometimes that's what we need. We need someone to care for us, and while we are wounded, right? I felt like I was wounded, and I felt like while I'm like licking my cuts and shit, like then other people's taking care of me, making sure nobody comes and attacks me. And so that's how I felt. I felt like while I'm healing, someone is there to be my shield, to protect me, to care for me. And that's what I needed at that moment. Be vulnerable with the right people. And all right, stay messy, stay curious, do something that scares you today, and don't forget to listen to your inner voice.